Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Back evening, or no, it was Friday morning.
Friday morning. That's correct.
Holidays throw it off a little.
Yeah. It's this rough setup for the holiday, like for it to be a Thursday, and then my girlfriend worked. That's why I was like, we can do it Friday. What the fuck kind of company sends you to work on the day after 4th of July? Squeezing in a day of work between 4th of July and Saturday.
My girlfriend had to work.
It's weird.
Daycare was open. Those poor people had to work.
Nah.
And we
Joe
did.
Prano greater than Joe Biden. Not on my watch. Let's do something about this.
Well, it is a weird. Anytime it falls in the middle of the week, which is going to be a lot of times, right? So basically 3 days of the year, or 3 times. You have 3 chances.
If it's a Wednesday, I get it. But if it's a Tuesday, Monday's off. If it's a Thursday, Friday's off. What are we doing here?
So that's your only leeway, is if it's a Tuesday.
Is it a Wednesday? Yeah.
Oh, if it's a Wednesday, okay, yeah.
So the schedule is weird, but obviously I didn't have to work on Friday. But I don't work Fridays anyway, so.
That was the thing in college. You don't schedule class on Friday.
Oh yeah. The journalism department, all the journalism and communications classes at Lehigh all took place on Tuesday and Thursday. So I got to the point where I figured out there's a bunch of like different things that were like 1 credit courses that you could do. It's like, that's how I ended up in Intro to Canada. It was 1 credit on Wednesday. I took guitar for a couple semesters, 1 credit on Wednesday. And it's just like, I started trying to figure out how to make it so I just had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For my last like full year, maybe my last 3 semesters, I had Fridays and Mondays off.
It's a pretty good setup.
Yeah. Now, Tuesdays and Thursdays were pretty packed, but like that's kind of the way it would have been anyway. I was just like, fuck it. If you're a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm just not interested.
You remember when I burned my college degree in front of my dad?
Yeah, it's so funny.
Early dirty sports stunt. Never replaced it, by the way. Not that it matters.
Yeah.
So I think I have the book that the diploma goes in when they give you that like little booklet, and it's just empty. So.
You never replaced it?
No. Oh, I care. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Also, college. It's not like I earned my PhD from Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
It's not something that's.
Why Vanderbilt?
That's a good school. I don't know. I just picked Vanderbilt. You know, it's a good school.
Not like I got my PhD from Yale. This guy went fucking Jay Cutler's alma mater down to the SEC.
It is funny that Vanderbilt's in the SEC. It's a really good school. You gotta be real smart to get in there.
Yeah.
But isn't it such an outlier, not just sports wise, but academically?
Yeah.
Who can even come close to competing with the prestige academically that Vanderbilt has? in the SEC?
No, in that nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody.
I'm trying to think in the SEC. Yeah, nobody. I would think even in just like honestly in major conferences, you're looking at like Berkeley, Duke,
Chapel Hill,
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we're missing some. You know what I always like?
Vanderbilt's a pretty good school. Like I think I used to work. I used to work at a Princeton Review, and I used to know the rankings like on a year-to-year basis. But I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt's like ranked like significantly higher than like a UNC.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Duke, Stanford, Berkeley, maybe UVA. As far as major conference,
got a comment. Northwestern.
Yeah,
that's a really good school.
Yeah, although is that even in what
Big Ten?
Yeah, is that a major conference still? I mean, I guess Michigan's a pretty good school.
It is, but the state schools get confusing because if you're in state, it's the out-of-staters where they make it really tough.
Yeah,
obviously, it's a lot easier if you're in state. I always liked how Vandy had the raised floor for the basketball games.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting move that you'd be underneath the floor.
Yeah. So
you do climb a ladder to get on the court.
And then also there's like the like when they go running into the sand, they like fall off a ledge. Like it's like fucking like you're playing Mario Kart on Rainbow Road.
Yeah, who came up with that? Whose idea was that?
No clue.
I want to see the classes Jay Cutler took at Vandy.
I don't think he took many classes.
You wouldn't think. I don't know. It's like one of the few times they've actually had decent squads. I think they've had decent football squads in the last.
I mean, even when he was there, were they like
7-5?
Yeah. Good baseball school though.
They've been off and on decent for basketball. Like they've had runs here and there. That was always a nice rivalry with Kentucky, I felt. It's just an outsider. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I don't even know the conference.
Great. I mean, listen, it's certainly the kind of place where if you got your PhD from there, you wouldn't be burning it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Got my PhD from Vanderbilt.
Probably not even my undergrad. I still have all my college stuff. All of it. My grades, the courses I took, a lot of papers. Oh yeah. It's definitely taking up space here in the basement. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe I'll burn it.
Give it to your kids someday.
Yeah, the circle of life, the circle of death. Hey,
the circle of junk.
Now you get to deal with this shit.
She's like, "What's paper?" Like, "Oh, we used to." You know what? Don't worry about it.
You don't want to hear something crazy about college? I never had. Talk about aging myself, and I was abnormal in this regard. I never had a personal computer for my 5 years of college.
What?
Yeah.
You went to school after I did. You just did everything in like a computer lab?
So computer lab / library
/ frat house had a computer?
Well, we didn't actually have frat houses on campus, but all my buddies had computers. So I'd use their computers for papers and jacking off. Literally, that's what I would do. I just used, hey, can I use your computer? Rub one out. Can I use your computer?
You'd be like, hey, buddy, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to pull an all-nighter tonight. Jacking off. I got 20 pages of jacking off to do.
Although my roommate sophomore year, my roommate from Ecuador, he did question why was there all these white stains on his computer desk chair. Little did Jaime know. That was my jizz, Jaime.
Jaime.
I met who loved him some Papa John's pizza. It's always funny to me
Papa John's.
the people who don't live here and then like that's the thing they're gonna be obsessed with.
Yeah, the first time I had Papa John's, I was like, the fuck is this? Why does it come with like a dipping sauce? And like, what the fuck?
It's pretty good.
We didn't have Papa John's like where I grew up. Like I didn't have Papa John's till I went to college. And then you do it once, you're like, yeah, it's not bad. It's decent. Like the doughy kind of crust. It's like, yeah. And then you're just like, oh yeah, it's just like trash pizza. But man, that garlic butter.
The garlic butter's clutch.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they give it to you though. It's like the whole Corona marketing plan of like, put a lime in it. Yeah, because the beer's disgusting. Like dip it in garlic butter. I was like, I wasn't even looking. I was like watching the game and I ended up dipping my napkin in garlic butter and it was also delicious. You ever get a Papa John's sent home to you without fucking garlic butter and you're like, did they forgot the garlic butter? They'll send somebody. They're like, don't eat it. We'll send somebody back. We don't want you to know what it actually tastes like.
Whatever happened to Papa John? Remember he's drunk and then wasn't he saying the N-word a bunch on like a conference call or something?
Wasn't he doing blackface or something?
Well, he was doing all those things. I don't know about blackface. I'm not sure about that. Yeah. And then Shaq like swooped in. They did like a PR move and Shaq bought a bunch of franchises.
He's like, you're not telling me Papa John's a racist. I hang out with Papa John. He's a good man. I'm taking him. He's going to be my deputy sheriff in Miami-Dade next weekend. Well, how are you a cop exactly?
The Shaq cop thing is one of those. It's like a mystery. How's Shaq a cop? They just give him a gun.
Papa John's one of the most honorable men I ever met in my life. Right behind the general.
I'm going to miss those guys, man. When NBA and TNT, if it ceases to exist, if they don't go anywhere else, if Charles Barkley actually retires, I'm going to miss that. Like we said, hands down, best pre-game, post-game, mid-game, whatever you can call it, studio team. You probably didn't see this, and it's not like it's a major story, but I was reading what Steph Curry was saying.
Excuse me.
And I know probably what you're going to say. He was saying he doesn't think there'll be another dynasty in the NBA like the one that the Warriors had. Now, obviously, dynasty is kind of a loose term, but he was basically saying how, they went 11, 12 years always around competing for a title and just how much the game has changed and
11, 12 years is an aggressive claim, even.
Let's see, they won what, 4?
Yeah.
And they were in how many other finals? Just one besides that?
One other finals. Right. They were in the
3-1 final.
Yeah. No, sorry. 2 other finals. They also had Toronto.
I mean, they were in 6 finals.
I know, but I don't know. 12 years. What was their first championship? It was 2015.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's only 9 years ago today. So, and then they had, they had 6 finals in 9 or 10 seasons or whatever.
That's a dynasty.
I don't know if it's a dynasty, but it's a
mini dynasty.
It's a borderline dynasty.
Well, it's very similar to what the Spurs did.
Yes.
Because Duncan won how many? 5?
Correct.
But that started in what, 99?
Correct.
That went longer. The dynasty thing is weird. You could call the Lakers three-peat a dynasty. You'd have to, right?
Yeah. They also lost one in there,
4 finals in 5 years, I believe. Losing one. Like, I don't know what constitutes a dynasty at this point.
I mean, I think modern sports, it's like if you three-peat, it feels like that's getting 500 home runs or 3,000 hits. It feels like that's, if you three-peat, it's like automatic entry into the dynasty club.
I agree.
But at the same time, the Warriors got 4, but then it's like, spreading out a long amount, how much time? Like the Warriors, obviously, like more of like, to me, the Spurs only having one more, but it being so much longer of a thing where it's just like they're competitive. Like the think about all the Western Conference finals that they appeared in that time or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like, but then at the same time, they didn't like dominate.
Do you have to dominate?
You got to be like the team of the fucking decade.
So where are the Chiefs right now? 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. They've never
not made the AFC Championship game.
That's what I was about to say. They've never not made the AFC Championship game.
And they've won 3 Super Bowls and lost another Super Bowl. Yeah, that's a dynasty.
It's got to be a dynasty.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, if they win a Super Bowl, well, they would be the first three-peat ever, correct?
I would say like the Chiefs for football also, it's like
it's way harder.
Way harder. So it's like it's a different like barrier to entry as far as football dynasties go. But yeah, like making the conference finals every year and winning 3 Super Bowls. Also, by the way, this starts with Patrick Mahomes showing up.
Sure.
So it's like we're actively in a dynasty. Now, if they lose in the second round this year and they don't make a Super Bowl for 6 years, and then we look back on it, we're like, was that a dynasty? But like we're currently actively feels like in the midst of a Chiefs dynasty.
But I don't think many people talk about that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I don't know.
No team's ever three-peated, correct?
I don't know. Have they?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But this is my point. We're talking about a team.
Those Steelers teams didn't.
I'll Google it. I don't think a team.
This is where Goldberg would come in handy. Yeah, 77, 78, 79.
No team has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah. So if we're, if they do that, so right, like the Patriots didn't do it.
Only one team has ever gone to 4 Super Bowls in a row, the Bills. My point is they are right there. Obviously, we have a season to play out, but I don't think enough people are talking about it. In fact,
you know why I think people don't talk about it? I think people don't talk about it because everything was in place. They added Patrick Mahomes. It really feels like it's the Mahomes dynasty. You know?
Yeah. But like they get counted out every year, is my point.
Yeah.
If you compare the Patriots run versus the Chiefs run, the Chiefs are way more counted out. They are.
Yeah, although you remember when wasn't it like a week 1 that the Chiefs with Alex Smith beat Tom Brady and people were like, it's not the same Tom Brady team. I think they won the Super Bowl that year.
I think they did too. I don't know.
I think with the NFL, it's weird because the Chiefs are the first team. Mahomes is almost like the Shaq, where it just feels like like the regular season doesn't matter. We're in the NFL, like even with the Patriots needed that home fucking. You look at the Patriots like away from Foxborough and during those round, like, you know, didn't they lose an AFC Championship game and on the road?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Well, this was the first year that the Chiefs ever had to do that. Obviously, they passed.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of the? I guess there's only been one episode of the Giants
I
off-season
did.
Hard Knocks.
I did. It's super fucking boring, but it's like it's almost and I'm a Giants fan. It's almost a testament to how NFL obsessed people are. That HBO and the NFL are like, what if Hard Knocks didn't include any football whatsoever and it was just guys working on Excel spreadsheets? You think people would still watch? Yeah, I think they would.
That's what it is.
Kind of. I mean, there's not fucking. I mean, there's essentially zero actual football shots in the whole thing in terms of like, you know, because they're not even practicing.
So what was the first episode?
Joe Shane or whatever, the GM, just, you know, it was essentially the conversation around whether or not they're going to re-sign Saquon, a conversation around Daniel Jones's injury, and they showed, you know, Jones working out, a little bit of like draft prep. It was really like a GM profile. You get a couple minutes of like him talking to the whole scouting department. You get a couple minutes of him talking to John Mara. Dable was barely in it. Essentially no players in it. Like, it's kind of wild.
I wonder what the background is on a lot of these GMs.
It's like, you know how like food TV is so big these days? Iron Chef and Hell's Kitchen, Beat Bobby Flay. It's the equivalent of like before one of those shows. This is a show about them going shopping for ingredients. Like, yeah, on Hell's Kitchen this week, there's going to be a challenge about making cheesecakes. We got to go find dairy. We got to go find some, you know, condensed milk or whatever. And I'm like, all right.
But do you think a lot of those guys had, if you looked at like the GMs of all the NFL, I wonder what their business background is. If a lot of them were in sports or they were in a completely different private sector field.
Well, the Giants GM, part of the episode is that he literally had like the GM path. Like he was like an assistant scout, a scout, an assistant GM, a GM, like all whatever, a director of player personnel, like whatever. He went like step by step LinkedIn ladder to the GM role.
I think it'd be a fun position. It'd be high stress.
Yeah. But it's a lot. I mean, you know, so there's a big conversation around Saquon, whether like, you know, are we paying him? Are we not paying him? Like who else is really going to pay him? And a couple of other guys, like, I don't know, you know, you're taking these snippets like a little bit out of context. Other people are like, I don't know, a team that's like right on the edge, like right on the verge, good offensive line, maybe push them over top, maybe like the Eagles. He's like, they're going to go out and spend like $12 million on a running back. And they're like, yeah, maybe. And then, of course, they did.
It's going to be weird seeing him in an Eagles uniform, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they're all in. As in, we talk about, we were just talking about dynasties and teams that are built for runs. I feel like the Eagles and the Bengals are both in that same situation where they put all their cards in on this season. Like total Super Bowl or bust. And then if it doesn't work, then some serious recalibrations are going to have to happen for next season.
Yeah. But I mean, Jalen Hurts' money gets big really fast. Saquon, they're paying.
Joe Burrow's going to get big fast. They're
Yeah.
going to have to owe Chase money next year.
Yep.
I think I'm out. Now, if I'm the GM, I don't know who I'm giving the money to, but I think I'm now to the point where I don't pay anybody except the quarterback. Like receivers, running backs. I'm just like, well, just reload. Just reload.
Yeah.
The amount of money these number one receivers are getting now and what they will continue to get, it eats up too much of the, especially if you have a good quarterback.
What's crazy is that happened with the running backs because it was like, oh, you can get whatever, 85% of Saquon's production from somebody else for like, a tenth of the money. I think it's going to happen with receivers because just the way these athletes, the way these guys are freaks, it ends up being like, dude, you come out and you're so explosive and you're so young and you're whatever. It's like that first couple of years, it just feels like every year now, like absolute game-changing receivers are available in the draft.
You're right. We didn't see that in the past.
I mean, because we had guys like Keyshawn Johnson was like go number one. You're like, this is the fucking dude. And it's like you would never draft a guy one because you're like the guy who at like 20th is probably also fucking crazy good.
And Keyshawn Johnson's career wasn't even that good.
No.
Especially not for a number one overall pick.
Yeah.
But that's a total Jets move right there. Yeah, can you imagine taking a receiver number one?
The only way that makes sense, again, is if you happen to be a team that somehow found its way to the number one pick, that's like somewhat close. Because if you have the number one pick, you're probably bad enough where your receivers are the least of your worries. Which is essentially exactly what happened with Saquon. It's like Saquon's a good running back. But like Giants, they weren't ready to have a fucking weapon.
Again, my thing is just building around the lines. If you, and I know none of it's is a sure shot, and a lot of it's a crapshoot. But if you have some almost guaranteed really good O or D linemen, especially on the offensive line, so it's a game changer. Like the Penei Sewell thing. I mean, just look how it's playing out. Now I know he got paid,
but you guys went to a Super Bowl, pretty quickly. Just didn't get it done.
Who's you guys?
You guys, you're Bengals.
Who's you? Stop it.
Oh, are you guys Chargers? I don't know.
I don't have a you guys. I'm not claiming anybody. Just not doing it, Joe. I can't.
The only you guys is your like racist red-faced Reds poster behind you. Fucking Injun Jake and the rest of the big red machine.
Injun Jake. He was a stud back in the day, bro. You want to hear fun Reds facts? Speaking of racist.
Yeah.
The last time the Reds won a World Series or playoff series, Marge Schott was the owner. 3 owners ago.
When's your last playoff series?
95 against the Dodgers in the NLDS. And they got swept by the Braves in the NLCS.
Wow.
So I was in a Reddit forum just looking
1995, bro.
1995. So I was looking at what idiot Reds fans were saying in the Reddit forum. And I'm now, and people I know will say, oh, you're just a terrible fan. Well, my thing is like, I just don't, dude, if you suck for this long, you're not giving me anything.
It's 30 years ago.
30 years ago. So I have it right here. The longest current postseason series droughts for wins. The Reds are at 28 years. Second is Chicago White Sox at 18 years. The Reds have 10 more years than the second worst drought.
This is just in baseball.
This is just in baseball. 28 seasons. It's unbelievable. Now, to be fair, and it's kind of an asterisk almost, they do include like a wild card game win. So the Pirates actually beat the Reds in 2013 in the one-game playoff.
Yeah, that shouldn't count, but
I agree.
It's like the definition is series.
But I mean, the Angels too. Angels haven't 14 series or 14 years. They haven't won a playoff series since 2009. 28 years. So like, it's really tough for me to want to pay money. That goes
Am I
back
crazy
to my
or
point.
if? Yeah, I mean, dude, they go back. In Back to the Future, they go back 30 years.
They do go back 30 years.
Yeah, it's almost as long as like what fucking time machine movies go.
Well, you can make it 29. They're not winning a playoff series this year. That would be
Wow.
make it 29. And then again, I know it's a waste of my time, but I just love looking at what people like to say in a thread. And you're just like, why do you? Oh, they suck. They're terrible. They're never good. But I'm going to go to 2 games this week. I'm just like, I can't. I can't do it. Why do we do this? I don't understand why sports leagues across the board, if a team continues to suck, why they don't create clauses to force a sale.
Yeah.
It's not good for the league if a team habitually sucks.
Habitual line steppers.
That's what I was thinking of. Habitual line stepper. You're a habitually line stepping shitty owner is what you are. And you can pick them from each league. And look, it's really not the worst thing, is it? You're forcing a sale. Some owner's going to make billions of dollars. It's not good when the Lions suck for that many years. It's just not good for the league.
No, but it's so much more worth it now that we won.
Everyone's so big on the Lions, man.
Are you ready? Are we going into this like not to preview the preview, but like are we both going to be like out on the Lions this year? Just like fucking. Doesn't it feel very like forget all the specifics? Doesn't it feel very Lionsy to get there, blow a fucking game, and then just like would you be more shocked if the Lions won the Super Bowl this year, or if the Lions do not win a playoff game for 25 more years?
I mean, come on. I'd be shocked if they won the Super Bowl.
More shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then if they just immediately go back to not winning anything for a full quarter century.
Well, on paper, I mean, they have a really good squad.
Yeah.
And they like you said, they were this close to the Super Bowl. And then they just choked it away.
Although I got to say, in the NFL in the last few years, it has been more consistent in terms of like from year to year. There was a time in the past you were like, oh, I mean, what was it before? It would be 6 teams made it from each conference, right? You could almost count on like 8 or 9 new full-on playoff teams every year. Now it's been a little bit more consistent the last few years.
8 or 9 out of the 12.
I feel like in the past it was just like always. Every year it felt like, oh, you think it's like the only sure bet is to like not bet on like the team to repeat. Now it felt like always we've had a team that's like always there for a couple of years in both conferences, but like full. I mean, look at the NFC East. We haven't had a repeat winner until Or still haven't, right? Because did the Cowboys win this past year? Yeah, the Cowboys won this past year. That's why the Eagles went on to the fucking Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's what makes the league so great. I saw this thing. It was prices to it. The average cost per family to attend an NFL game. If it was for the cheapest tickets, parking, 4 hot dogs, 2 beers, and 2 sodas. This stupid graph doesn't actually. This tweet doesn't actually show how much each, but it shows the most and the least. It's pretty wild. The Raiders are the most expensive now. If you're going to do all those things I said.
Was an expensive ticket when I went, actually. Surprisingly.
Least expensive are the Falcons.
Well, don't they famously have like really cheap concessions and shit?
Yeah, I'll give him credit. That's what he did. He made really cheap concessions. Your 3 least expensive are Saints, Colts, and Falcons. All domes, which is interesting. Actually, and you toss in the Cardinals, the 4 least expensive are all domes. The most expensive, this is actually
also a dome.
Yeah. But after them, it goes Eagles, Chiefs, Bills. I was a little surprised by that. Especially by the Bills.
It's that Canadian exchange rate.
Which is what at this point? Do you know?
Yeah, it's like I think it's, call it 75 cents on the dollar.
What's on the Canadian currency? Is it a queen or some shit?
Yeah. And like some geese.
Fucking geese.
Yeah. A loon. A loony.
A geese.
A loon.
What's a loon?
Like a goose.
You just making up. That's an actual animal?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Loon. Loon. Yeah. Looney bird.
Is that where they get Looney Tunes?
I don't know. Loon. Birds. Yeah. It's like a duck. Duck looking thing.
That's the most Canadian thing ever if that's on their currency.
I think so. Am I crazy? Did I make all this up?
You might have. You might have pulled a Ruther.
Canada's $1 coin, known as a loonie, features a common loon. On the reverse side, opposite Queen Elizabeth III.
If you go to Canada, will they take the American dollar everywhere? I wonder.
A lot of places.
But I'm saying, if you're like where Ryan Klatt lives.
I don't know. But probably because it's worth more. But I don't know.
You would
if they're
think,
taking
right?
it to Saskatoon or whatever. They're definitely taking it in like Toronto and shit. In Vancouver. Like shit that's kind of close to the border.
We got a call about someone defending fireworks.
No, God, no.
I gotta play it.
Oh, God.
No, it's pretty funny. It's from like an OC bro.
Ski dog.
It's not Ski Dog. Let me play this real quick. Did I put this in? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kind of fucked up that first call, but this is Nick from Orange County. Went to Santa Ana for fireworks. I have to say one thing about the Santa Ana fireworks is the dogs don't give a fuck. The babies don't give a fuck. The dogs don't give a fuck. The bigger the bombs, the more excited the dogs were, and literally just insane. Like probably the craziest night that I've had in a long time, just in terms of witnessing things I've never seen before, of bombs everywhere, dogs loving it, outside, under all the fireworks, babies, a 2-year-old little girl with a sparkler, probably some poor parenting on that one, but Santa Ana's insane, and the dogs and babies of Orange County don't give a shit about fireworks, but that's it.
Can I just have one, like, there's a lot there to digest, but one thing is really important. I really need to tackle this thing. If you're looking at a fireworks show, the only way that you are not allowed to describe it is seeing something I've never seen before. You've seen it before. There's only one fireworks show. You've seen it every time. Have you never seen fireworks before? Oh, you haven't? Then fireworks are exciting. But once you've seen it one time, you have definitely seen it before. Every fireworks show is pretty much the same. And every fireworks show,
yeah.
At every fireworks show, 10 minutes in, has some fucking bitch named Debbie. You think it's the finale? No, Debbie. Every fireworks show is like 35 minutes long. That's when the finale is going to happen.
Bro, you got to experience some more stuff in life. I'm not trying to knock you personally, but like, that's one of the coolest nights of your life, seeing fireworks, man.
I thought you were talking to me for a second, then I realized.
No, and I'm not trying to be mean. I might sound mean, but that's one of the coolest things that you've ever seen. Man, I almost feel sorry for you, bro.
So
like,
are they using like bombs down there?
Yeah, you kept saying bombs. Are you sure the dogs were liking it, or they were just riled up because there was loud noises?
Yeah. Were they like trying to escape their owners so that they could run into like a shed or like a closet? Like all run home? Dude, you should have seen it. The dogs in Santa Ana, they don't give a fuck at all. They're all just like out in their lawns, like trying to hop over fences and become a part of the fireworks show. No, man, they're trying to fucking escape.
And kids and babies. Yeah, some shitty parenting. What are we talking about here, man?
2-year-old with a sparkler.
I mean, that's some Orange County shit right there. Also, like, not to be that dad, but I will be that dad. Why's your kid even up? Why's your, like, take the fireworks out? Why's your kid up? Why's your kid up? Watching a fireworks show. Your kid should be sleeping. You want to deal with that rowdy little toddler the next day? Yeah, keep him up. So Saturday night in my neighborhood, it sounded like, so this would have been, yes, it was Saturday. Was it Friday or Saturday? I don't know if it was the 5th or 6th. It sounded like they were in our driveway. And I go to the window, and there are a few doors up. And I walk outside in my pajamas, literally just my pajama pants, shirtless. And my neighbor a few doors up, from his driveway.
Hey, love those pants.
No, that was not Gay Greg. I haven't spoken with Gay Greg since I talked about him on the Andy Ruther show.
No.
I'm wondering if Gay Greg heard me talking about him on the Andy Ruther show. In fact, his wife has kind of been rude to me too. The gig is up. No, it was Gay Greg's neighbor. And he was standing at the end of his driveway.
Bisexual Bob.
Bisexual Bob. I wish I had a neighbor named Bisexual Bob.
Love those pajama pants, Andy. Where's your hot wife? I'm like, okay. Take it easy, Bob. So why you guys know I'll fuck everybody in that house. Let's go.
But this guy's at the end of his driveway. It's probably 10, 15. He's with like his 8-year-old. Just shooting these things in the air, like big ones. And there's trees around, and it's just like, what? But he knew, he could see me. I didn't say a word. I just stood at the end of the driveway and just stared. And but I'm cool with this guy. I know he's gonna say something when he sees me. Like, oh, is that too loud? Is that what you want? It's like, bro, it's 10:15. It's also like June 6th or July 6th. I mean, and there's cars around. I don't know what kind of shrapnel they're gonna get. You also have a child you're just shooting these off with. You need to move to Orange County. Is what I'm getting at.
Having a fondue party, and you really fucking threw off his vibe.
A fondue party. Actually, Gay Greg's grandkids were what's the stuff you whip on the ground and they pop?
Yeah, like popper. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We're going a little crazy with that today, which I'm like, whatever. And Greg giggled like a dildo in his butt every time. You think Gay Greg roots for the Bengals?
Oh, for sure. Because you said he's not openly gay, Greg, so he's probably puts on a huge front. He's probably a huge Bengals fan.
No, he's never made a sports comment to me ever.
No, never.
Never.
But he does go to games and paint his face like a little kitten. Like, we're going to a Bengals game.
I should get tickets for him and Justin. How turned you think Justin is now that we're in July?
Oh, he's so turned.
Is he more of a Bengals fan than you are a Giants fan?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Like, hands down?
Yeah. I don't even think it's that, like... No, I think there's some part of it. It's like it's different because like they haven't won anything. He's like so invested. It's like there's some part of me where it's like year in and year out. Like I'm so quickly like, well, it's not our year. You know, now I'll hang on like longer than most. But when it's over, it's over.
You know how lucky you are to have 4 Super Bowls in your lifetime?
Yeah.
And 2 of them, you were an adult. And even the 91, that's like a good age to win a Super Bowl, man. What are you, 11, 12?
Yeah.
That's a good age to win a Super Bowl where you can really appreciate a Super Bowl at that age. Like if the Giants never won a Super Bowl again, would you be?
I mean, if they never won a Super Bowl again, like so the last Super Bowl was 2012. You know, so I was, and it's when I'm 32, right? And I mean, theoretically, I could die and be like, Giants haven't won a Super Bowl in 50 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of football watching and not.
It is a lot of football to watch.
Not get another Super Bowl, but 4 in my lifetime, 3 that I remember vividly, and like a loose one is pretty good.
It's really good. Do you think I'll see a single penny from the NFL losing the Sunday ticket lawsuit?
How did that all? Did they pay everybody who had Sunday ticket? Is a class action thing?
It was a class action. Let's see here. But, you know, lawyer fees.
Yeah. I know I'm not seeing one because I had it through Mikey the whole time.
It was a 4.7 billion Sunday ticket verdict, but they said that could go up to 21 billion. It's affecting 24.1 million residential subscribers over a 12-year period, which that's how they got to a 4.6 billion. But they can appeal.
Yeah.
And they'll appeal. And obviously the NFL has badass lawyers. I would be shocked if I ever saw a penny from that.
And think about how many people, like what would it even break down to per person? I mean, 4.7 billion is a lot of money, but there had to be, over the course of whatever it was, there had to be what?
Well, didn't I just read it? What did I just read? The 4.7 billion award is based on calculations of overcharges affecting 24.1 million.
Right.
Over a 12-year period.
So even if those were 24 million different people, now let's right. Okay, so let's go 4 billion. $166 per person.
And that's before lawyer fees.
Correct.
So that's why I said, do you think anybody would ever see a penny? And I would argue no.
Somebody will see it. You won't.
Lawyers will.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it again this year. And I paid early because I got a discount. They did 4 payments of $67.11. YouTube did. And they started withdrawing it in May. So do April. So do April, May, June, July. And after this month, I'm done and I'm paid. It's really not that bad of a deal.
No.
At the end of the day, to have access to watch any game at any given moment, split the screens. Now I have a child who at this point will be a year and a half old. I can really teach her some football. She can throw Cheetos at the screen. Whatever she does, she won't give a shit. Like, what's the earliest age you can start teaching a kid about football?
Teaching them football. I mean, you got to be talking. We're talking like 5.
Yeah, it's a tough game to learn.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could teach them like, you can maybe teach a kid, you can maybe teach a 5-year-old like routes.
Would you have a desire, if you were given the opportunity, to see every stadium for football? Like, is that appealing to you?
Yeah, for sure. I like that shit. I like seeing the architecture. I like seeing the setup. I like seeing where it sits in the city. I like seeing new cities. I like seeing the game watching experience. Yeah, for sure. I think in order of like interest, baseball, everything, because things can be so different from field to field.
Yeah.
Is interesting to me.
Agreed.
Then probably football. Basketball arenas is sort of, you're not the modern basketball arena. You're like, yeah, they're all the fucking same.
But baseball is also very appealing from that standpoint. You could walk around the stadium.
Yeah.
And see all the food, and you're not missing much. Football, you're walking around the stadium, you're missing some plays, man.
Yeah.
Bro.
College football stadiums are interesting, but I've just like grown out of interest with that shit.
Guess who just took some just taking a stray out of nowhere? Condoms are for Joe Bartnick. Dude, it's amazing.
Let's go.
It's shout out to JT. It's amazing that we still get comments about that.
Yeah.
That was 2005.
2015.
Yeah, sorry, 2015. I'll never forget. You know what I remember most about that episode? When you and I got in the elevator after the episode, because we used to record at Sideshow Studio, and we got in the elevator, and you just were like, dude, what just happened? Because he was talking
About like short lengths and shit.
And the bad boy Pistons. Bro, Joe, and I like Joe as a person. He was straight up doing the
boomer talking points.
But it was like he was watching a PowerPoint and there was each bullet point.
Yeah.
He was just hitting all. He was talking about their short lengths.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I think he did. Yeah.
That's pretty insane.
And he's like a hockey guy. And then, I don't know how much of it was like he's not really a big basketball guy, but he needs like a reason. Whereas like I'm just like I just don't like I'm not a hockey player. I didn't play hockey growing up. I don't care about hockey. Like hockey's cool. Like I appreciate hockey. But it's like he's a sports guy, and then he's like, yeah, I mean, I just can't watch the NBA. I mean, no one plays defense anymore. Like you can't foul anybody. The Bad Boys Pistons, I mean, they take off your head. and Dennis Rodman's wearing like, 5.5-inch inseams. And you're like, oh, okay. Just say you prefer hockey.
Dude, he doesn't compare to as bad a guest as Steve Hofstetter.
Is Steve the worst guest ever?
From my viewpoint, he was. Like because you know why? Because he didn't get dirty sports. And I believe we were on some rabbit hole about black dudes wearing like
the Looney Tunes or the whole Western Conference on a jacket.
And he pulled the basically saying
black.
Yeah, his adopted sister being black and basically call us racist.
And we were like, does she have a jacket that has the whole Western Conference on it?
I thought of you and I thought of dirty sports. I recently saw a black girl, like a large black woman with a giant, like Tweety bird, oversized shirt. I was just like, how did we get here? Like
that shit's coming back, dude. These things go in waves. The 90s, dude. What's funny is I was just talking to my girlfriend about this because we were like shopping. It was like, it's her birthday as well on Friday. I took her shopping, and I'm like, there was a time like fashion is such like it's such a cyclical thing where like, bell bottoms come back in and skinny jeans come back in and whatever. And now, like, I don't know if it's the timing of it, but we're like the return of like the worst era of clothing. And you're like, there was a time where you would go back, but you would skip it if it was like a horrible thing. Like we didn't bring back like polyester shirts. You know what I mean? Like we were like, oh, that shit was whack. Like we're not gonna fucking do like there wasn't a time where guys were like walking around looking like fucking, like the guys who sang fucking Staying Alive, the Bee Gees, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bee Gees era fucking fashion didn't like come back in. But now we're returning to this like weird 90s terrible, like there's some interesting fashion of the 1990s, but we're returning to like some shit version of that. And I'm just like, how the fuck
like
does this happen? Like we're not like, I would not be surprised if we get like oversized Tweety bird shirts and shit. Or like, dude, you got there like super duper like boxy baggy jeans, like super like square ass women's bag jeans, mom fits, girls like super high waists with like fucking whatever, like all this like weird like like the neon-y shit. Like even the neon like era was like that was at least had like a thing. Now they're going back to like, I mean, go into any fucking like, I don't know. What's the store that we were just in the other day? God, what's that like? My brain is fucking mush. Whatever. It's bad. There's really like they're bringing back like bad trends, and I will not be shocked if you go out there and it's like a hat with a fucking blade on the top. You know what I mean? Like the fucking the spinning top hat, like the fucking.
The dunce hat?
The propeller blade. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a black guy with like a backwards hat with a propeller blade on it and then like an oversized Wile E. Coyote fucking shirt. And they're like, bro, why you dressed like we're going out? We're going someplace formal. He's like, oh, damn, why didn't you say so? I'm gonna get my Eastern Conference leather jacket. They're like, you're what? He's like, it's got all the teams on the sleeves and the conference logo, which I don't know if you've seen because they don't use it for really anything except for our jackets.
The entire Eastern Conference. Well, you know what is not going out of style? It's been in style, Joe. A little Butcher Box.
I love me some Butcher Box. Good people of Butcher Box.
I've been cooking a lot of chicken lately. I grilled. You're going to laugh at this. And now I kind of like it. I got a little ego stroke from the old lady. She's obsessed with my chicken quesadillas.
Ooh, okay.
And they're pretty basic. But what I do is I grill. I get my Butcher Box, throw on some chicken breast or some fresh tendies, grill them up like I did yesterday. Just cut those up, throw on a little Trader Joe's sharp cheddar cheese. I got a little way to do it. And that's literally it. It's just she just likes it real simple.
Oh, just the cheese and chicken quesadilla.
And I always say my two girls, Brittany and Isla, they eat it up. They came home from her parents' house last night, grilled up a couple quesadillas. And that's what I've been using my Butcher Box. But also,
I'm really into taking those chicken tendies. Something I've done recently, Andy. I take the chicken tendies, get me some Italian breadcrumbs. I make chicken parm tendies. I breadcrumb them, then I put them all in this little pan, and then I cover them in marinara and cover them in cheese, and I put them back in the oven, and I bake it, and I take it out, and I make chicken parm sliders.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. I love that when you order it, it comes all fresh, and it's gonna be frozen. Like I don't know what those things are called that it stays in. What
Dry
is
ice.
That? Dry ice. That's what it's called. There we go.
Yeah.
Dry ice. It keeps it nice and frozen, even if you're in just terrible weather like we've had here with the humidity. So sign up for Butcher Box today by going to butcherbox.com/dirty and use code dirty at checkout. And you can enjoy your choice of bone-in chicken thighs. I've been crushing those as well. Top sirloins or salmon in every box for an entire year. Plus get $20 off. Again, that's butcherbox.com/dirty and use code dirty. Getting hungry now talking about it. I might have to. I think we got one tortilla left. One like taco shell, whatever it is.
Uno quesadilla, por favor.
I mean, she's hyped up my quesadilla game so much. She's like, I don't even need sour cream with yours. I mean, I walk around with some big dick energy when she's talking about my
king of the quesadilla.
And it's such a simple thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's an easy. You living in college or you don't have any money.
I might have to steal that because my girl's always got some big old tortillas around here. To start doing some chicken quesadillas.
So you know what the key I do is when I cut up the chicken, I sprinkle a little chicken on it, then cheese, then more chicken, and then more cheese on top of that. And then I get it really hot, and I get one side, and I flip it, and I take it off actually to kind of, and then I try to open it up, even out the chicken and the cheese, throw it back on, get each side, turn down the burner. Yeah, I might just open a Mexican restaurant at this point.
I went to a Mexican ice cream spot last night here, Oxnard. So Mexican, the people there didn't fucking speak any English. They're like, no English. I was like, amazing. It's pretty good.
It was good.
It's good as shit. Michoacan Azteca #3.
So what do you get at a place like that?
I got coconut ice cream. And then we also got
coconut ice cream.
Yeah, it was good. And I also got, it was like the only thing that was like open super late. And they also did like snacks too, like little snacks. We got fucking Cheeto street corn. and some fucking coconut ice cream. And my girl got Ferrero Rocher ice cream.
Cheetos. Talk to me about this Cheetos street corn.
Like, you know, street corn.
Yeah.
You just got like a little thing of street corn, and then it just had like shaved Cheetos on the top. Shaved hot Cheetos. A layer of shaved hot Cheetos right across the top. It's pretty bomb.
They should offer that at Chargers or
Hell yeah.
Chargers, Padres games. For a minute there, I thought the Chargers were still in San Diego. Do you think there's much hype for them in LA at all yet?
No, but I think there will be. This could be an interesting LA football season. I think the Chargers might be good. I think the Rams might be good.
The Rams gave the Lions all they could handle that playoff game in Detroit.
And it was supposed to be this little down run for the Rams. They're already bounced back. They're already like, you know, in a playoff game, putting up a fight.
As long as Matthew Stafford gets his wife in order.
Yeah.
Why does she have a podcast?
Why do we have a podcast? Why is anybody? Because there's 5 million podcasts in the world.
I sent you that.
Did you?
Yeah. I sent you that thing with all the interesting podcast numbers. Did you? Yeah. Remember? We were texting about it?
Yeah, now I remember.
5 million podcasts. And we don't have one with CTE guys. Like, we don't have one with Antonio Brown.
It's so funny because we called it CTESPN so many years ago. Then they took CTESPN and they made it a thing, but they just refused to do the podcast.
What was the guy who went crazy by the bonfire?
Oh, Chandler Jones.
Yeah. And OJ would have been on that. You could still pull out his dead body.
Yeah.
But he's been, I believe he's been cremated. Just have his urn right there.
Did you see that they honored him at the BET Awards?
Shut up.
He was in the in memoriam.
Are you serious?
And it was like actor and athlete.
No.
OJ Simpson.
That's hilarious.
You know how they'll do like writer / producer / it was like actor / athlete / murderer. Allegedly. But it does beg the question, though, like, he wasn't convicted of murder, you know? So it's like, but it's also like, you just skip it. Like, you don't have to. Who's going to call you up and be like, you didn't have OJ in there?
I never would have thought of that.
Hello, is this BT? I don't know if you refused to put OJ Simpson in because of his murder, but I would just like to remind you, he was not charged.
I wonder if you did a poll, like a poll within Black people, and you could get different questions, what they would say about OJ. Like the one question, do you think he's guilty? I think most people would say yeah, but like 30 years ago, they say fuck no. Even though in their heart,
you should do this. You should just man on the street some questions.
Go down to Over the Rhine in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Although with the state of the world we live in today, you'd be like, what do you think about OJ? Some chicken slide. And she's like, I want to hawk to and spit on that thing. Well, he's dead. Yeah, I know. I'm going to spit on his ashes.
I know. It's crazy. Like, that chick is like, it's like a thing. It's insane. And they had all those fake accounts about her.
Yeah.
And now I do love that she did a podcast. Because, like, what's she talking about?
I think she was I saw a couple clips, just her answering like how it happened and like what happened and like what's she gonna do now? Was she a teacher? Did she lose her job? And
dude, my buddies speaking of teachers losing their job, my buddies sent me, this is completely irrelevant, but I don't care. In my college group text, my buddy sent this thing. 2 teachers who were like good friends. Was this down in Arkansas? And like one of them's hot. Georgia. Former Georgia school staffers, best friends accused of sex with students. 2 teachers who were each other's bridesmaids in each other's wedding for like a couple years were just banging high school students, banging
Like
dudes.
regularly.
Multiple dudes. And they were best friends. And they were, again, best friends from high school. They were young. They were in their 20s.
Yeah. They're best friends because they bonded at a young age over being filthy whores.
It's wild. And they're both pretty cute. And my buddy sent me this. And
Yeah. I don't know. I was not gonna ask you this there. Yeah. We're becoming pretty close friends there. You know, so I thought I'd ask. Any chance you're a filthy street walking whore?
my one buddy wrote, I need to get back to school. And I just wrote back to the group, and I need to rub one out. Like what are we talking about here? And this sounds like a Matty Goldberg porn. 2 best friend teachers. They're just mowing down their students in their early 20s. You know we missed the boat on all this, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like this, I know the internet didn't exist, but this wasn't going on.
No.
24-year-old girls were not banging 17-year-olds.
I mean, you went to Catholic school, so it was going on, but just it wasn't as sexy as this. It was different.
No, we didn't really have priests.
No?
No. Like a couple, but it oh man, we did have a creeper. Dude, we had this priest. I mean, even his name sounds creepy. Father Pigott. He's dead now. He would call kids into his office, and he'd want to know, like, let's say, and he never called me. Apparently I wasn't good enough looking. He would call kids into his office, and he'd be like, so Joe, do you have a girlfriend? And you'd be like, yeah. And he'd be like, are you physical with her? And he just would start like drilling with like he'd be like, are you fingering her? Or is she giving you hand?
What?
Like, yeah, all this. And it went on for years, man. And I remember kids would come back. They'd come back to whatever class they were in, and then you'd see them at lunch. They'd be like, yeah, Piggy was asking me weird questions about my girlfriend. And this just went on forever. And you're like, nobody was like, hey, why are you asking graphic details about my sex life or whatever it is with my girlfriend? And why is he sitting behind his desk asking, where are his pants?
Yeah. He's like,
so weird.
Yes. And now tell me, when she does that, does she huck to and spit on that thing?
You guys should give us a ring. 310.
Were you raped by a priest or one of your teachers in high school?
Me?
Call us. 310-359-8365.
No, it definitely was not. 310-359-8365.
Andy, can I give a little shout out?
Yeah, go for it.
To one of the founding members of the Dirty Sports Podcast on Substack, Adam Swasson in Denver. He sent me a golf towel for his, I believe it's his food truck.
Nice.
Corgi Crepes. He's got a crepes business, and he sent me a golf towel. Catch the Corgi Crepes. If you're in Denver, keep your eye out for the Corgi Crepes. Get yourself a crepe. It's like a quesadilla, but French.
It's a good way of putting it.
Right?
Yeah. What happened to your screen, by the way?
This is what I'm telling you. Do the color.
And
that's why I'm always in.
Weird. You are in Oregon this weekend?
I am this weekend, July 11th, Thursday. Eugene, Oregon. Great new comedy club, Olson Run. On Thursday, I'll be headlining. Come see that. There's going to be some special guests on the show. I don't want to name names, but come on through. And then Friday, there is a theater in Oregon. If you can't make it Thursday and you are in Eugene, you can see me Friday at a theater with Adam Carolla. Information for that, adamcarolla.com. But I'm just doing a few minutes to open for Adam. I'd prefer you come on Thursday to see me do, I don't know, probably 45. And then if you're in Washington, just outside of Seattle, I'll be opening for Adam at Snoqualmie Casino in Washington.
Word.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then, of course, I'll be in New York. Comedy at Pox out on Long Island. Sagaponic, New York in the Hamptons. August 24th. Headlining that show. Headlining, July 24th. July 26th, 27th, 28th. Headlining Yonkers Comedy Club in Yonkers, New York. All those and more at Joe Prano on Instagram, on my link tree, at Joe Prano on TikTok, and of course, joeprano.com.
Yeah, I'm at Andy Ruther, as you guys know, so you can check me out there. All right, Joe, we're inching closer to football.
You're so close you could taste it.
Yeah. Can't wait. All right, well, let's wrap this bad boy up. A little late night here, and we'll get the week rolling. We'll see you guys back on Thursday. Have a lovely week, and as always, stay dirty.